Welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for War Season 47 starting. Now, we have the same tactic. In fact, it's been slightly nerfed, let's call it, from the previous season. And the previous season was brutal. Now, we were in Tier 1. My alliance, SSX, got 4th in the world. But about a week into the season, our death counts were incredibly high. And, you know, I was even beginning to wonder, can I make it through this season? I'm on vacation, all this stuff. This is very difficult. Loyalty costs are incredibly high. But then I doubled down, and a lot of the officers in my alliance started offering basically almost like office hours, and we were going over fights, and I noticed I was getting noticeably better. I understood better what was going on. I understood how to take the fights, and it was slowing everything down, and I was having a lot of fun. It is definitely more difficult. I'm not going to try to convince you that it's not. What I'm going to say is, I think by knowing the attacker tactic, by knowing the defender tactic, and knowing some MVPs, attackers, and some strategies, you can get a lot better, and then you can have a lot of fun. And then because you're having a lot of fun and getting better, you're going to get better rewards. We will go over the tactic, the defender and the attacker. But if you don't want to listen to that, if you know it pretty well and you just want to go straight to the fights, you've got timestamps under the description for all of that. And then I do want to say I have fights here for I think 5 different champions. Now there's going to be 4 champions who are definitely MVPs that I just don't have fights for. I didn't use them. I don't have them highly ranked. And I will put that in the description, and I will put channels that have footage showing those champions so you can go and use them really well. We've got Moondragon. Hopefully Royu puts that up soon. Chee'ilth will definitely have Simula, and of course Bitter Steel, Shocker, Tom Jarvis, and DLL. And then I don't have a Shuri, but I feel like you're going to find a lot of like Awakened Shuri gameplay here. She fits in very well. All right, now we're going to go over the tactic and then the various fights. Okay, the defensive tactic. Now you got to make sure to look and see which defenders have this, right? Like just because maybe you're not in tier 1 doesn't mean you're not going to have this tactic. It won't be quite as hard, but it's still going to be tough. It's Crush 2.0, and the Crush defenders inflict a 15% potency Daunted passives for 20 seconds every time they gain a bar of power. 20 seconds is a long time. They're going to get 2 every time they gain a power, up to a max of 12. Daunted is increasing the damage of, I think, the special and any effects that can come off the special. So this is significant, right? And then you add on to that, during the special attacks, the defender has 2 or more Daunted. Remember, they just get 2 for passing the bar of power. And then they're going to get 2 for the next one, and so on and so forth. For each effect, the attacker is passively rooted. So if there's 2, you're going to be rooted. That makes this so much more harder to dex. And then when Crush defenders activate a special attack, they have a 28% chance per Daunted to gain an unblockable passive for the duration of the attack. Well-timed blocks will ignore the unblockable, but I mean, we've all been doing Necropolis and things like that. We know how hard it is to well-timed block these sorts of things. And then if they have 4, which is just 2 bars of power of these Daunted, they have an 80% chance to go unblockable. So this is brutal. This is tough. This is why people are even taking chip damage and all that. And Kabam needs to get the loyalty and the potion situation figured out. That's not what this video is about, but that's kind of what it's at. That's why there's so many deaths, and that's also why so much chip damage. Now, let's go and take a look at the attacker tactic and how well it'll help you out. Trust me on this one. Now, the attacker tactic is Alliance War Sturdy. So you make sure you're going to have those attackers, and I'll show some to you here. But when a sturdy attacker intercepts an opponent, they inflict a taunt debuff. The taunt debuff is going to reduce the attack rating by 40%. So that's pretty massive right there when you think about it. And then increases the chance that the defender will activate the special by 70%. We're going to talk a little bit about why this is so important, kind of like how it helped me change my playstyle that you've normally seen me do in war. And then during the opponent specials, if they have this taunt up, you're going to get this steadfast effect, which will allow you to block unblockable. So if for some reason that special is unblockable, like we just talked about, you're going to block it. Additionally, it's going to lower their power all the way down to 0. So you can use the attacker tactic to your advantage significantly, even if you're not going against a defender tactic. I hope that all makes sense. If not, go ahead and come back and listen to the section again. And then I'm going to do my best to get war videos out again this season. I love war. I've already done my first war. A lot of these fights went exceptionally well, and we can talk about it more in depth, but that's why I'm now going to show you all of these fights. Okay, we're going to start off with Mantis for this, right? Now, she is tactic, and we're going to be going into these fights. Now, this fight is going to be against Spider-Ham, and the node is important, but for the sake of this video, and for I think what I'm hoping to help you out and have you take away is it's not. with Spider Ham, remember, once you go above a bar of power, he starts getting a spider nonsense, increases his chance to evade. That's when the evade can become a real problem. So what we're really doing here is this node can put these debuffs on us, so we're going to slow down our combos best as we can in hopes of never getting these debuffs. We want that Tranquilize passive on him at all times. And then the reason why Mantis works out so well for this tactic is she has her Intimidate and her Infuriate. You can see we've got the Infuriate up, which is allowing me to now get the taunt up. He hits me with this. He went unblockable. That's fine. You can see how little damage it did, right? I had the taunt up. And so I think you hopefully are seeing how this is going to hopefully work out. And this is giving me the opportunity to talk about what I was really, one of the major things, one of the major big breakthroughs for me in getting better at this tactic was, in having more successful wars of not dying. And like I said, helping my alliance get fourth in the world was, I gave up the idea that my fights needed to look pretty, right? You know, I kind of gave up on the idea of like saving items, and it's counterintuitive because you think like saving items is really important, and it is. We want to do that. But once I started going for these intercepts and being comfortable with the idea that I might get hit in the face, but that's okay because it's going to help me in the fights, it really helped out a lot. You can see that like I'm down to 64% health, and I feel pretty good about this. This fight actually went pretty well. I'm having to throw my SP1s because Mantis can't handle Spider Ham's evades or anything like that. I wasn't utilizing her sleep mechanic very well, but that's fine. That's fine. Right now, I'm honestly feeling very good about this fight. I'm using her Infuriate mechanic to get off my intercepts, which is giving me putting the taunt on him. And you can see he goes down. That's a very tough fight. In that exact war, in fact, if I remember correctly, it was either that war or the next one. Our opponents died to that exact fight. Like that exact fight, Spider Ham, same node with a Mantis. It's a tough fight. So there you go. You know, give up the idea of it looking pretty. Just let that go. You're going to go for those intercepts so you can get up that taunt. You're going to get them to throw their special. It's going to have them lose all of their power when they throw it, and you should get that steadfast. I think it's an effect. It's not a buff. So here we go. So now, you know, and that wasn't normal Mantis play, right? Hot Fuzz and Bitter Steel and others in my alliance really coached me up. So now we're going to go into this fight as a hazard shift against Joe Fixit. Now, Mantis' Tranquilize, I believe, is 100% against Science Champions. So if I slow play this enough, if I can keep up her Tranquilize, I can prevent any debuffs from landing on me. You're seeing the very beginning of this fight, if I remember correctly, I'm going to get a few debuffs up. That's fine. The whole idea here is to try to land an intercept at some point, and then Joe's SP1, I'll be able to block it and get up my mixed emotions as we go. So I've landed my intercept, and I should back off. Very, very good. Right there, right? We landed the intercept, get up the taunt, he throws it, we're good to go. We're good to go, right? And now I just need to get my mixed emotions, so I should land the Intimidate, and then I will be hitting into his block to get up the mixed emotions. It's the green passive there. It looks like, to me, it always looks like the theater thing. I think it's Shakespeare and stuff like that. And I think it's just only 16. Yeah, I go ahead and hold down. I know that my Mantis is probably going to finish this off. I believe I have power backs on. Well, maybe I didn't. Should have had them on. That's a rookie mistake. It's a rookie mistake. In fact, I'm going to show you a death here, right? Because like I said, my videos are about like trying to help you enjoy the game, get better at the game, save items, not about how good I am. So I'm going to show you a death here. This is a tough fight. You can see we're going up against a rank 3 7-star Shuri. I have a rank 2 Mantis. So you flip those ratings around, and you'll see this would have been a solo. It would have been a solo, but I want to talk this through with you here because I was given a really great fight strategy, and once we kind of looked it through, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have started with an SP1, and you're going to see why, because I'm going to end up in a point where, because I'm not like a super advanced Mantis player, I end up going to a little farther, right, and I can't get all the mixed emotions up, but essentially right here, we got up our Intimidate. Now I want to hit into her block. Now, here's one thing I want to point out when you're adjusting your Mantis play, because we already saw the Spider Ham one, right? We adjusted, it was just SP1s. Then you saw a more traditional Mantis getting to the SP2. Is you want to pay attention to this too. And this was, as I was learning as I was going, is we've been talking about landing the intercepts, right? Well, that can work. It's kind of giving the AI conflicting information or directives if you have your Intimidate up and you also have the taunt. So you want to kind of be mindful of that. If you've got the taunt up, go ahead and finish off that process before you then somehow land a combo, maybe, let's say, and get the Intimidate up, just so you can have more control over the fight. It can look a little wild. Trust me, I know, because I remember watching these fights earlier in the season and thinking it looked wild, but then once I really sat down, talked it over with the guys, it made a lot of sense. So here we go. We've got this up. Now I'm just going to hit into her block and try to get as many mixed emotions as I possibly can. And then, as you know, Shuri will go untouchable at 10. So I'm going to kind of block bait here. Hopefully get that. And then I'm just going to lay off her until the untouchable goes away. And then I should be looking for another opportunity to land in an intercept. And I got it. And I should have played into that a bit more to get up more mixed emotions. You're going to see why. I was 4 short. If I had those extra 4, that 1 SB2 probably doesn't finish her off, but I get knocked all the way up to my special 3, and it probably does. And then because I just, again, unfamiliarity, I'm going to rush in here when I shouldn't, and due to the node, she's going to kind of special intercept me. For me, it felt a little cheap because I felt like she was blocking. She did that slow walk into a special intercept. But, you know, that's on me. I dove in and that sort of thing. So I wanted to kind of show that to you because these are common placements. These are very common placements we saw over the course of the season. I'm sure we'll see them in this current season of 47. You'll probably see them too. And you can go and you can take Mantis in on a variety of those fights. And she's great for others too. Those are just the 3 that really allowed me to show 3 different kind of play styles with her and some intricacies. So now we're going to move on to my next champion, who's really been phenomenal. In fact, in War 1 of this current season, I'm going to get that video out too. She continues to grow on me. I cannot explain how much of her like almost hidden utility is coming out now because the fights are so hard. So we've got Hazard, Shift, Shock, Bleed. Remember, she's bleed resistant. I'm going to get the shock resist buff from Odin. And the one I open, you're going to see me make a little mistake here at the beginning because I'm going to try to parry and then like hit late into that. That's a style I got to work on. I shouldn't just try to do it out of nowhere in War. It's great fight advice. If you're quick enough to do it, you can get that done, and then you won't take the one I open damage there. You can see I just went a little too late. And so once that happened, I was like, okay, screw this. I've got a really awesome counter here because I think Lady Deathstrike, once you get the heal block up, she turns off, I think, all unblockables and unstoppables. Might just be on mutants because she just really handles a Weapon X like it's no one's business. It's really fun. She's really incredible, guys. I've been using her to take photons. I'm going to get out a video on her because I really don't believe the community understands how good she is and how tanky and sturdy she is. I did not mean that pun with the tactic here. I think she really is could save people a lot of items. I've grown to really like her. You guys know I like big numbers. I like big yellow numbers. I like big red numbers. I like big specials, and that's not her. And so as a result, I think it was easy to kind of underrate her, but she's phenomenal. So there you go. So she can take a hazard shift. Remember, she's bleed and poison resistant, and you can add that on with Odin. Odin came along for a lot of fights for me to provide various buffs, mainly the shock resistance, even with Iron Man, who we're going to see here. So coming in here now, we're going to take this fight. This is not a tactic defender, but this is a tough defender. And we're going to play this as well as we can in the style of how you play Bishop, right? And that's what I wanted to show you is like these attackers can also take fights that aren't just the defensive tactic. And if I had landed some intercepts, it probably would have been helpful for me here too. So there we go. We've got the taunt. And this is kind of an odd one, right? Because we've got the taunt up and it would cause him to lose his power, but also you don't really want Bishop throwing his SP1. So this is a little bit of what we were talking about earlier with the Mantis one, where you're kind of giving the AI some conflicting directives, but it worked out fine. This is what I wanted to show you is like, it's fine. I had created space on the map. We maybe lost 1% health due to all that. I don't think so. Just stayed away from him. He gets up that aura. We're fine. You can see I went for the intercept there. It looks like I got credit for it, which is odd because I got tagged. And then we're going to go in, try to get to our ferocity, throw our special 2, and Lady Deathstrike is doing the Lady Deathstrike things here. Bishop doesn't want to throw it, but because she's not doing any energy damage, she's doing all physical with the ruptures. He's not getting any prowess, so I have no concerns about this being unblockable. She goes unstoppable anyway. That's just part of how I'm taking photons with her, and she heals back a lot of damage if she takes them. We're going in, and we're just starting this process over. It's a-okay. Like I was saying with her, she's not eye-popping, and I think that's why she's so easy to underrate. But when you look at the duration of these fights, they're not long. This is not a noodle. This is not a noodle. It's just, I think the ruptures are a lot of small numbers, and there's a lot of them. They really add up, and getting her awakened has been a really big deal. So there you go. There you go. And that was kind of like getting the taunt up. It caused him to throw the special one, which I really didn't want him to do. But you can be saved, you can be salvaged, and you'll be A-okay. Now, this one was really impressive, and I took this sort of fight quite a few times. This was Iron Man. Iron Man's been amazing. I'm going to have a video of the fight in the next war, the first war of the season, him going up against an Apocalypse. I think it's going to be really impressive for everyone. So this is a Hazard Shift, Incinerate, Poison. Remember, he's Incinerate immune and Incinerate and Shock, I think it is, and Cold Snap. Or maybe it's just Incinerate and Cold Snap immune. Yeah, because I use him for Iceman's if I need to against this Danny Moonstar. Now, this is a little problem because she is a tactic defender. So I really do need to be worried about this. Now, here's one of the beauties of an attacker like him is if I do not land the taunt and she goes unblockable to the specials, I'm okay because he can still block unblockable special attacks from mutants. So we've got these two Daunted up on us, and I want to hit into her. I want to maximize my amount of hits possible when she's in the Incinerate phase, right? Poison, I want to hit her because I'm going to get the poison on me. So that's why you see me playing so passive. I don't want her getting any power right now if I can avoid it, because I want to maximize it. So I'm going to go in. Yeah, well, I shouldn't have backed up there. I should have just stopped my combo early. That's okay. Mistakes are allowed. Then we're going to throw our specials, kind of like I said, maximizing our damage capabilities here. I don't need to land the intercept because he can block the unblockable specials. But if I get the intercept, that'd be nice, because then her power will go all the way down to 0. But as you see, no intercept, I'm okay. It's really about understanding the attacker tactic, understanding the defender tactic, and then adding that layer on to the fights. So we did get the intercept there. So let's see how I do here. Oh, but she's in her Incinerate phase, and I didn't want to lose that damage opportunity. Otherwise, I would have baited the special. So that's fine. Took advantage of the ability to do some damage there, which was smart. These fights take a little bit longer because you can only do damage half the time. And I think I make a little mistake right there. I thought I was going to get an intercept when she's got her illusion up. You don't want to hit her block, but that's fine. And we should go in, throw our special one. No, I went extra safe. I went extra safe. Probably the smart call there. I'm going to wait out one more cycle of poison. And there you go. This is what I'm talking about is the fight takes a little longer. I'm not trying to tell you it's a nuke fight. It's not. These are the hazard shifts and that sort of thing. You want to be smart about it, right? Save your items, save your health, get the win. Solo and advance. I did not use the tactic to my advantage, even though he was an attacker tactic attacker. Man, that feels weird to say. Anyways, and then I want to show you one more fight of his, and we have two fights from one that is an attacker tactic champion and one who is not, who have been extremely valuable. So now moving into this one, I haven't seen too much Emma Frost, but I did want to show you another Iron Man where he's not kind of held down. It's not slower based on the hazard shift nodes there too. Very common placement was Apocalypse. And I got pretty good at taking that fight against Apocalypse, right? Big beefy Apoc there with my Iron Man. But there we go. So we've already got the taunt up. So I should push over a bar of power. Got another one. And I should bait the special now here too. Because she's not awakened and I'm so used to the reverse controls on the special one, I chose just to kind of block all of them. We're getting our intercepts like crazy here now that I'm noticing this. So our special 2, I threw it a little short, actually. I should have waited a little bit so I could get into the arc reactor mode. But we're there now. And we should throw our SP1 and start to see the real damage that Iron Man can start doing. Yeah, you can see when we're critting, we're getting some nicer numbers here. We should get some good ones here. Again, no taunt up. He can block the unblockable specials from mutants, so it is no big deal. And the damage done. I mean, he builds up so fast. Once he gets an arc reactor and the armor up, that took less than a minute, but about 40 seconds into the fight, it looked like it was going to take a little bit longer. Absolute MVP. Mine's not even ascended. 6-star, rank 5, not ascended. Now you guys know why. I mean, I'm going to continue to get Iron Man stuff out so everyone knows why I think he is so good. So here, this is Kushala. She is not an attacker tactic, right? So she's not going to benefit from it, but she can block unblockables. If you get up her parry blessing, okay, let's just call it her parry blessing from now. She can get a stack of 3, so you can get up quite a few So if a defender should go unblockable, she can block it, and she will heal back damage, a significant portion of the damage into her block. So it's something you can utilize. Maestro is like one of the newest, toughest defenders. My kid walked in and started talking to me. I remember this now. One of my deaths was that, but not on this one. So you can see we're parrying. We're getting up. It's the blue, the parry, blessing, whatever. It does not allow you just to face tank hits, unfortunately, as you see there. But we landed our heavies too, which is the other blessing. And because Maestro is Incinerate immune, we're going to go straight to our SP2. Land a nice big soul barb here. Here it comes. We've got our ability accuracy up too, thanks to those blessings. So the glancing is allowing us to still sometimes, you can see it is glancing some of them, the effect. But we're getting up our ignition here. And this Maestro will be going down. Again, this is another fight where like it looks like it's going to take forever, and then all of a sudden it is not, as he gets more and more of those buffs. And we've now got up 2 of those soul barbs. And thanks to the Odin buff, remember I talked about Odin. I was assigned him sometimes to put the resistance on myself and then also my alliance mates. Really worked out well. Great planning there by, I think it was Royu, Bittersteel, Tom Jarvis, and Nearwin. And I apologize if I missed some of our planners there in BG2, but they did a phenomenal job. And this is the last champion I want to show you. Now, this is Warlock. Warlock is, I think the term is blacklisted, so that means, I guess, that you cannot use him at all in Tier 1. And I think that carries through to Tier 2. I'm not positive, but I don't know if other tiers are going to be able to use their Warlock. And so I just want to kind of show early in the season, early in the season, Warlock was a very popular assignment. But what started happening is, and you can see it here already, right? We're going up against Salty. I think they, I don't remember where they placed, but I'm pretty sure they got podium. They're typically a top 3 alliance in war. They started placing defenders, or everyone started placing defenders. If they thought there was a chance Warlock would be taking them, they started placing defenders without willpower. So you didn't get that natural like power drain that can happen. But as you can see, he can still handle these here fine, especially against like a Havoc or something like that. But in the non-tier 1 wars, right, you might still have a lot of your defenders being placed with willpower. So that's something you can look into, see if that's happening. If it's pretty common, go and bring your Warlock. And like the power drain that's happening now, if they don't have power, they can't throw specials, in which case you don't need to worry about a Daunted unblockable special. It's a really beautiful thing. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, I enjoy war. I love war. My videos are never about like how good I am. They're about how good the champions are, or to show off, or to learn a little bit more about an attacker, like we're going to do with Lady Deathstrike and Iron Man here, and hopefully help you save items and have a lot of fun, because the mode can be incredibly fun with this extra knowledge. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you learned anything, if there's anything else you wanted to point out. Like I said, there's these other champions that are fantastic too. I just didn't take fights with them, so I'm going to direct you to some channels for them as well. I hope you have a lot of fun in Season 47. Like I said, we've had our first war of the season. I had an absolute blast doing it, and I know that I'll at least get a video out for that one. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.